Whoa, it's over. Steven Universe is over. Oh my god, I've been watching this show since the very first episode aired. And it's over. I grew up with the show. It's... Wait a second! Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I did not like Steven Universe Future's ending. And here are the reasons why. Okay, so first of all, Steven Universe as a franchise was a huge part of my childhood, and I love it just for that reason. I love the original Steven Universe, I love the movie, and in the moment, I enjoyed Future, but looking back on it, it was not good. So this might be a bit of a rant, but I'll try and at least organize it a little bit. So here are the reasons why Steven Universe Future was disappointing. So here we go. Rebecca Sugar said that it would be a limited epilogue series taking place a few months after the events of Steven Universe the movie that was made to tie up loose ends and some questions that fans had that were never answered in the movie or the show itself. And I was really excited. I couldn't wait to hear about Jasper and all of the Gems on Little Homeworld. It was going to be so cool, and I was so excited. And the first few episodes were very promising. It really became kind of self-aware in the sense of no normal child would ever have to do what Steven had done in the main show and the movie. Like, seriously, name one other show that actually dealt with that kind of stuff. When watching the main show, it just feels like wacky adventures with Steven and his alien family, or that's what it might seem like. And being that kind of show, no one really thinks about how all these events really affect the characters because, well, it's a cartoon. And being a cartoon, no one really thinks about how the events in said cartoon would affect the character's mental health. And that's what I really liked about Steven Universe Future. It was being realistic. At first. But I'll get to that later. But for now, let's talk about loose ends. Like I said earlier, Steven Universe Future was meant to tie up loose ends and answer questions that fans had that were never answered in the movie or the show itself. And yeah, lots of questions were answered, but overall, it really just leaves you with more questions to ask after Future has ended. Like, where did Bluebird go? What's Jasper doing now? And how the flippity floppity frick did Spinel suddenly get so happy again? Actually, you know what, let's talk about Spinel. I loved Spinel as a character in the movie. Her story was surprisingly relatable and can be related to a lot of things that happen to basically everyone at some point in their life. And in the movie, Spinel was so hurt that she even tried to kill Steven and all of his friends, which honestly makes for a good villain, a good, relatable villain, apart from the taking out your anger and trying to kill people part. And if Future takes place only a few months after the events of the movie, then why is she suddenly so happy like nothing ever happened? I mean, sure, she could have been, like, less malicious and evil in Future, but that's not what they did. It's almost like backwards character development. She went from super happy and innocent and cute and freaking adorable to evil and scarred, but then she went right back to cute, adorable-ish, and they really just kind of butchered a perfectly good character. But enough about Spinel. Let's talk about consequences. There's not just one, but there are now 2 ways to bring a gem back from the dead. The first way we find out is because of Yellow Diamond's new powers. And first of all, how did they not know that they had these powers before? Surely they didn't just appear out of nowhere solely because they had changed their ways or something like that. Anyway, though, there was a real threat that someone can die at any time. And that's why during big fight scenes, it kind of leaves you on the edge of your seat thinking, well, what if they get shattered? That's the end of that character. It's done. But now, if they really wanted to, they could do something that annoys me so much. They could have done a fake out death if they wanted to, and it. Wait a second. They did do that. In the episode Fragments, you see Steven for the first time, basically the first time, showing actual anger, and he literally shatters Jasper. And yeah, it's one of those kind of shocking moments where you think, oh, he's such a sweet and innocent character. How did it all come to this? Ooh. But the way that he just brings Jasper back to life, like nothing had happened, annoys me. It was one of the two things that I hated about Future. Jasper was basically murdered. And Steven faced no consequences whatsoever. That's a great thing to be teaching the target audience. If you're angry and you take it out on someone else, it's fine, because if there's a good reason why you're angry, no one will blame you. No one can blame you. And that brings me to my last point. The episodes, everything's fine, and I am my monster. So I really just kind of need to calm down. So before I get to the main point, I'm just going to say that I strongly disliked how they transitioned from regular old Pink Steven to this giant lizard monster thing. It does like this kind of sort of dramatic cut from regular Steven to the monster thing. You could have drawn it out more, had some suspense, you know. Didn't like that. Okay. Now this is my main problem with Steven Universe Future as a whole. Or, you know, my problem with how it ended, at least. Now, I know that in reality it wasn't just his problems that were fixed with a hug. It was really like the tears, because that's how they fixed the corrupted gems before. So technically it wasn't the hug itself, but the show portrays it to where if you just try and comfort someone, if you give them a hug, that it fixes everything. And as someone who struggles with depression and anxiety, I can tell you that a single hug cannot fix all of your problems. And oh my god, a spider just ran across my floor. Sorry, but anyway, this ticked me off. Did not like it. So I'm just tired. I think I'm gonna just end the video right here. Sure, he says he's gonna get a therapist and stuff, which is good and all, but he gets through the worst part with a hug, and I don't like that. I'm ending the video right here. It's not gonna be an outro or anything. I'm angry.